Page 25, subtracting mixed numbers. It's basically the same as adding, but sometimes we need to regroup. So we've got a couple options. Here's my favorite. Let's start with 6 4/5 minus 3 1/5. We can subtract the whole numbers. 6 minus 3 is 3. We can subtract the numerators. These are both fifths, so I can do that. 4 minus 1 gives me 3. And I get 3 3/5. Denominator stays the same. Or I could have converted this to improper and this to improper and then converted that through then back to a mixed number. Or I could do it visually. 6 4/5, that's, I think of them as pizzas. 6 pizzas and 4/5 of a pizza. I'm not great at drawing, but you get the idea. Let's try that one again. Oh no, I was right, it is fifths. Okay, and we don't have this piece. We just have 4 of the pieces. Well, I want to take away 3 1/5. I want to take away 3 and one of those. I'm left with 3 3/5. So visually it works out. Let's take a look at one that's very, very similar. Let's take a look at 6 1/5 minus 3 4/5. And let's look at this visually as well. 6 1/5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1/5. We're taking away 3 4/5. So we're taking away 3 whole pizzas and 4/5, but I only have 1 slice to take away. I need to slice up another pizza. And that's what I mean by regrouping. I'm going to take this pizza, slice it into fifths. Now I can take away 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm left with 2 2/5. My answer had better be 2 2/5. Let's do it without the picture. If I just subtract 6 minus 3 gives me 3, that's going to give me the wrong answer. It's 3 3/5, which is equivalent to 3 minus 2 3/5, which is 2 2/5. Here's how I like to do it instead. 6 1/5, we sliced up that extra pizza. We can do that by writing it out just as easily. So this is 5 6/5. Now, you're right. Normally, we don't write that with an improper fraction, but sometimes it's useful to write things in funny ways, and this is one of those cases. So I chopped up a pizza. I now have 6 slices. I want to take away 3 whole pizzas and 4 slices, and my answer is 2 2/5. So by regrouping, by slicing up another pizza, we've allowed ourselves to do it easily. Again, we can always convert to improper fractions and then subtract as well, and then convert back to mixed. So whichever way you prefer, whether it's slicing up the extra pizza to regroup, or whether it's turning it into mixed numbers. So I'll give you a few examples to do. Let's take a look at 8 1/3 minus 4 2/3. There, again, you see you don't have enough slices, so you're going to have to either slice up another pizza here, or convert everything to improper, subtract, convert everything back. Your choice. Example 4 is 7 1/2 minus 2 1/3. So now we have different denominators. That's okay, just like we did with adding them. I'm going to make them the same. 2 and 3, my common denominator is 6. So I have 7 3/6 times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2. Ask yourself if you're going to need to regroup. Then either regroup, convert to improper, or maybe you can just subtract along. you feel free to pause and finish that. Then we're going to look at 7 and 1/6 minus 3 and 5/6. This is similar to others that we've done, but at the very end, there's going to be one extra step. So see if you can find that extra step. Example 6, 7 and 1/5 minus 3 and 1/4. So 1/5 and 1/4 are pretty close, but I know 1/5 is a little bit smaller because it's pizza cut into 5 slices instead of 4. So I'm going to have to regroup. Let's start by finding a common denominator. It's 20, so 7 and 4/20 minus 7 and 5/20. We need to slice up another pizza. Oh, excuse me, that should be a 3. There we go. So I have to slice up another pizza because otherwise I don't have enough slices. I slice one of those pizzas into 20/20. Right? I slice up one of those pizzas, so now I only have 6, into 20 more pieces. Going to add 20 here. I have 6 and 24/20. Minus 3 and 5/20. 6 minus 3 is 3. 24 minus 5 is 19. There we go. 3 and 19/20. Again, if you prefer improper, feel free to do that. I have just a couple more examples. Number 7, 8 minus 4 and 2/5. So here's a hint. You might want to slice up one of those pizzas. Think about how many slices you should put the pizza into. And look at your second fraction to help you with that. Finally, example 8. We'll have 15 minus 13 and 1/4, which is a similar type of problem. We've got a whole number minus a mixed number. You'll treat it pretty much very similarly to number 7. So we have some application problems on the next page. There we go. Okay. So we're training for a marathon, and they both went for a run. Frank ran 12 and 7/8 miles. Paul ran a little bit further. How much more did Paul run? So the first thing I'm doing is I'm recognizing that Paul, I want how many more miles Paul ran than Frank. So I'm going to take Paul minus Frank. Again, that makes sense. We're doing subtraction. So we can fill this in, do this similarly to how we did on the previous page. Don't forget your units. Number 2, we've got a sunflower plant. Oops. And we're comparing. Again, make sure that you have the comparison in the right order. So your answer might be positive, might be negative. You have to figure that out. Number 3, we've got a batch of cookies and 3 loaves of bread. And we want to know how much more flour 3 loaves of bread takes. And number 4, we've got a 3/4 acre plot and a 4 3/10 acre piece of land. How much larger is your grandparents' land than your parents' land? So again, we're taking this, we're figuring out the difference here. Notice that that's not a mixed number. That's okay. If you really want to, you can call it a mixed number. You can call it 0 and 3/4, but we don't need to do that. We can just take the mixed number, convert, so we have a common denominator, and subtract. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at worksheets pages 83 and 84. You now have what you need to do those. I'll meet you in the next video.